Good morning and welcome to the Forex Daily Update, brought to you by Pepperstone on Tuesday the 13th of March 2018. I'm Darren Sinden, and you can follow me on Twitter throughout the day by using @ds_Pepperstone. Right, let's take a look at overnight changes and price moves we need to be aware of. A relatively quiet session yesterday on the world's global foreign exchanges. I have just flagged a couple of points here. First of all, further gains for the New Zealand dollar against its US counterpart, adding another 0.41% and bouncing nicely. And perhaps surprisingly, in the light of that, the yen weakening against the US dollar and trading back at 106.73. So the dollar making gains against the Japanese yen, losing ground against the Kiwi. The dollar itself, 89.99, knocking on the door of 90 when expressed as dollar index, yet it doesn't look or feel comfortable at 90 or above when it gets there, so that's certainly something to watch. In the world of cryptocurrencies, yesterday we started today full of promise and expectations of perhaps a double-digit rally in the three that we're following here. That seems to have fizzled out somewhat. Bitcoin, yes, up by around 3.63%, Ether up just over 2%, and Ripple by 1.7%, but they were knocked back, basically, I think is the way to put it, over the course of trade yesterday. So what's on the calendar then today? Events that may move the markets. First of all, we've already had a speech from the Reserve Bank of Australia Assistant Governor Bullock that came out just after midnight GMT. That was followed later by Home Loans January for data, which we'll look at momentarily. And we also had a little earlier this morning tertiary industry index data for February out of Japan. That reading well below consensus forecast there. To come then at 11:30 a.m. here in London, we will have, we will hear from UK Chancellor Philip Hammond. Says here it's a budget report. It's actually more of a spring statement, and again we'll see a little bit more about that momentarily. At 12:30, perhaps the pick of the day's data, CPI index data for February out of the USA. So a key inflation measure for Feb, and of course this comes just literally a week before the Fed meets to decide on interest rates for March. At 14:30, the Bank of Canada's Governor Pollers will give a speech. It'll be very interesting to hear what he says, if anything, about monetary policy in Canada. The bank there seems to be in two minds about what to do next on interest rates. A jump then forward to 22:10 when we'll hear from another Assistant Governor from the Reserve Bank of Australia. This time Assistant Governor Kent will be speaking. At 23:30, we'll also have a different read of confidence in the Australian market. This time the Westpac even consumer confidence data for March. And then 23:50, the Bank of Japan will release its monetary policy meeting notes from the last meeting, which of course it sat pat and did nothing. And 23:50 also will have machinery orders data for January out of Japan. Right then, breaking news and comment that's caught my eye overnight. First of all, US tech stocks made a second successive record high in their best run of 2018 so far. Obviously, that follows from Friday's bullish close after non-farm payrolls. Meanwhile, Australian home loans data declined for a second month in a row during January, falling by minus 1.1%, and that followed a 2.3% decline in December. At the same time, the National Australia Bank February business confidence data was reported at its own 3-month low. So some slightly concerning data points for the Australian economy. Today, UK Chancellor Philip Hammond will take to his feet at 11:30 a.m. to provide the markets with an update on the performance of the UK economy and government finances. Don't look for too much in the way of policy initiatives. There may be some comments on borrowing as the budget deficit seems to have fallen, but I don't think we should look for anything earth-shattering there. And then finally, food for thought, something for you to take away with you into the trading day. Why not think about this? Research by the Wall Street Journal shows us that US technology stocks, as expressed by the US 100, have been by far the best performing group during the 9-year bull market in wider US equities. But how will the sector respond as news breaks that the Trump administration has blocked the $142 billion takeover deal of Qualcomm by fellow chipmaker Broadcom? Now, it'll be very interesting to see how that pans out over the coming days, and obviously what the ultimate response is from those two companies to the Trump administration's intervention. Right then, please take a moment to read the risk warning. Trading CFDs and foreign exchange on margin can be a risky business. If you're in any doubt about those risks or the suitability of the products for you, then please do contact your Pepperstone account representative.